YouTube family, I got another video for you all today, this fine morning, this fine Friday morning. This video, I want to discuss some of my methods of how I book flights for my Vegas trips. This is the newest addition to my plant family. Her name is Victoria. I don't know what type of flower she is, but when I came home from work yesterday, Sanaya had her sitting on my computer desk. And it was a pleasant surprise. You all know I love plants, and she's purple too. She got the nerve to be purple. Y'all know I love the color of purple. Right now, Sanaya has run her a bathtub of water. She's about to take her a luxurious Friday morning bubble bath. And I'm about to get to work booking this flight, or booking a flight. We're going to get into it right now. Okay. I already had my coffee this morning, but I'm going to just have just another splash. You all know sometimes, I have the cocoa. I have some cocoa residue in the bottom of my coffee cup here. So I'm just going to add just a little splash of coffee to go with that, while I put together this video showing how I go about booking these flights. Okay. Okay, so Naya just put something on my hyacinth. Okay, how do you pronounce that?
I was told that myself.
Hyacinth? That's what type of plant it is?
Yeah, that's what I would reckon.
Okay. Look here, y'all. I'm just going to call her Victoria. How about that? Your name is Victoria. I don't know about that hyacinth name. I don't know anything about that, but her name is Victoria. How about that? Okay, cool. Let me grab my coffee here. And I've been wanting to do one of these videos for quite some time. I've been wanting to do one of these videos for quite some time to basically break down the process for how I go about making and booking these flights. I want to show you all something else also. Look here, we get the that's from Vdara in Vegas, the Do Not Disturb. We also got one for the Bellagio. Their motto is "This is the life," and I would agree. I would agree. If you stay at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, you might feel like this is the life. Yeah, that's the way I felt. Okay, so Anyway, let's get to the point of this video. And like I said, I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a while, and this might be the last flight I book for the year, because I don't intend to go to Vegas anymore this year. So this flight that I'm about to book right now will probably be the last flight. Okay, but let me just show you all my process for putting together these Vegas trips. Okay, one of the first things I do, I'll turn the lo-fi down just a little bit because I don't want to be screaming over lo-fi, is I go to Google. Flights to Vegas from Norfolk. Okay, and then that comes up right there. And then I go here where it says show flights. Okay, and it's going to pull up basically round trip flights. Okay, and when it's in the green, it's showing that's the cheapest flight. Okay, but what I do is, and this is what I found, that I'm able to save on these flights, but also I get to structure the trip the way that I want the trip to go. Okay, so Southwest is going to show us, you can leave. Let's just look at this, for example. Friday, April 18th. Friday, April 25th. Okay, so from that period, you can leave 7:30 top departing flights and get to Vegas 11:45. And really round trip, you're looking at $339. But you're going to be in Vegas, for about a week. Well, actually for a week. Okay. I usually don't stay in Vegas for a week. I'm usually in Vegas for 2-3 days and then I'm out. Okay. That's just the way that I do my trips. Okay. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll fly to Vegas on one airline and fly back on another airline, and that's exactly what we did for this April trip, the end of the month April trip. Okay, so let's just look at it. What the first thing that I did was I went with one way. Okay, now I already paid for this ticket, but I just want to show you all the ticket I purchased. Okay, so we're going to be flying to Vegas on the 29th. Tuesday, April 29th. Okay. And the flight we chose is this one right here with Southwest. Flying out of Norfolk at 6:15 a.m., arriving in Vegas at 11 a.m. Now, it's a 7-hour flight with a layover in Chicago, an hour and 40 minutes in Chicago, and now that flight is $264, and I believe we paid $140. Okay, and like I said, we purchased that ticket about a week or so ago. Okay, and like I said, we split it up. We split it up. So, we had $140 in our budget for that week. to go ahead and pay for the ticket going. Okay, so for this week, I had already looked at the flights coming back, okay? That flight was also 140. We're about to get into that. But we went on and booked the flight going with Southwest, which is a great airline. I love Southwest. It's one of my all-time favorite airlines. Okay, so we're going to be leaving from Norfolk, going to Vegas, Tuesday, April 29th. Okay? Now, like I said, we had the 149, each of us, we both paid for our tickets, you know. We had the 149 last week to pay for the trip going. So this week we had to pay for our tickets coming back. Okay, so just watch what happens. I'm going to flip this around. And last week it was 149. Okay, and we're going to be flying back Thursday, May the 1st. Okay, so the ticket that we were looking at, let's see if I can find it. This was the ticket. No, that's not it. There it is, right there. This was the ticket we were looking at, flying on Delta. We were going to be flying out of Vegas at 11:30 Thursday, May the 1st, arriving in Norfolk at 9 a.m. Friday morning the 2nd. This was a great flight. 6 hours and 30 minutes with a 1 hour, basically a 1 hour layover in Atlanta. And last week, it was 139. This morning, when I got up, that's the price this morning. Okay? Almost twice. Almost twice what it was last week. Okay? Okay. 264 wasn't in the budget. 139 was in the budget. Okay? And to add insult to injury, let me just say this. It's Friday morning, so yesterday Sanaya, she got paid, so she had her money yesterday evening when I got off work. She gave me her portion for her ticket so I can book the flights. Okay. I just took for granted. I said, I'll just book it in the morning. It's been $139 for 2 weeks. It's been $139 for 2 weeks. Okay. And I just said, when I got in from work yesterday, I was just like, you know what? I'll just book it in the morning. The other thing you can check, and this is all through Google. Vegas to Norfolk. It says right now, as of this morning, it's $264. You can go down and look at the track record for the price of this ticket, the price history. Okay, so this ticket kind of started out at $250. It came out on the market at $250, and then it dropped down to $210. And then it dropped down to $170 Then it dropped down to 139. Okay. Then it shot back up to 240 15 days ago. And then 12 days ago, it dropped back down to 139. So that's pretty much when I started looking at it. And you see that it kind of held at 139, and just my luck, until yesterday, 1 day ago. You see there? So this morning when I woke up, $264. Okay. $264 is not in the budget. Okay. So when I got up to book this flight this morning, you know, I had to let Sanaya know that the flight had gone up. Okay? And, you know, the expression on her face changed. You know. Because she asked me last night. She said, you know, hey, did you book the flights? I said, nah, I do it in the morning. You know. I do it in the morning. You know, and that happens, y'all. That happens, you know. But maybe, you know, this will be a lesson for you all. Sometimes you got to strike when the irons are hot. Sometimes you have to strike when the irons are hot, you know. I drug my feet last night. Okay, so I own that. Okay. But I had to fix it. I had to do my best to fix it. Okay, so I started looking at other options. And one of the other options that I looked at was flying out of Las Vegas to BWI. Okay. We could fly out of Vegas and fly to BWI. Okay. The issue there is we're going to have to catch Amtrak into Hampton Roads, into Newport News, which is the next city over from Hampton. So you got to tack on the train travel to the flight ticket, okay? And the cheapest flight flying out May 1st, Thursday, May 1st, from what I can see, is on Spirit. Now, those of you all who fly, y'all know what Spirit is all about. Okay? You're going to get what you pay for. Okay? It's a non-stop flight, 4.5 hours, and that's just about how much I can stand. That's about just how much I can stand flying on Spirit. 4.5 hours. Okay? Y'all know what it is. Okay? Everything else, flying from Vegas to Baltimore, you see here, is $235. Let's see here. We had a flight with Spirit for $99, but look at here. You got a 15-hour layover in LAX, which I believe that's Los Angeles. Once again, we're talking Spirit. Nah, I'll pass. You know, And the other thing is flying into Baltimore. Flying into Baltimore also, I still have to tack on, you know, Amtrak. I have to tack on Amtrak getting to Newport News and then getting to Hampton, which isn't that big of a deal. So once again, you know, I'm giving these options to Sanaya, and you know, obviously she's a little upset because it's like, okay, so my thing is, okay, maybe we can wait. Maybe we can wait for the flight to go down, but the chances of that might be kind of slim. Let's just go back to that flight flying into Norfolk. The chances of that might be kind of slim. This was the flight right here. Especially when you look at, select the flight. Especially when you look at the track record. Is that the right flight? From Norfolk. Okay, this is a different flight. But you all understand what I'm saying. You all understand what I'm saying. The flight shot up to 264. And we're talking about the 11th of April. That's it right there. That's the flight. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. That's the flight right there on Delta. Okay, you all see. Okay, so it was right here at 139 for the longest time, and then it shot up to 264. Okay, what are the chances of it dropping right back down to 139? I mean, we could sit and wait. We can sit and wait for it to drop, you know, but that's a gamble. That's a gamble, because it might not drop. It might go up even higher. Okay, so I mean, I had to figure out something. What did I do? What I did was change the date. Because we were going to be flying out Thursday night, getting back to Norfolk Friday morning. Why not fly out Friday morning? Because we had the room booked. We had the room booked for Friday checking out. I'm sorry, we had the room booked in Vegas for leaving Thursday night, but actually checking out Friday morning. Okay, that's the way we do it. So we have all day on the last day in Vegas, and even if we fly out that night, checkout isn't until the next morning. That's how we do it, so we can have, you know, a room for the whole time we're in Vegas. We're not just wandering around Vegas with all those, you know, slot machines grabbing at us. You know, you want to escape. You all seen in another video that I did where I talked about that. You want to have a room. You want to have your room so you can get away from the casino. Okay, so you can leave. If you got money in your pocket, you can leave with money in your pocket. I mean, there's slot machines in the airport, so they're gonna try to get your money, you know. But anyway, y'all hear what I'm saying. So I changed the date to leaving out Friday morning, and the first flight that came up was American. Now, American is our buddies. We enjoy flying out on American. I usually fly out on American. Okay, so there's a flight leaving out 6:30 Friday morning. Okay, and that flight is going to get us to Norfolk at 3:38 in the afternoon. It's a 6-hour flight with basically a half an hour layover in Charlotte for 139. That's in our budget. That's in our budget. That's what we budgeted out. $139 to fly back from Vegas. Boom. Bingo. So, I shared this with Sanaya. And once again, the facial expression changed. She appeared happy again. So, you all, I made this video just to kind of show you all, to tell a little bit of a story. And you all might have gained some things by watching this video, not just about booking flights and all of that, but you might have learned some life lessons about, you know, striking when the irons are hot, you know, and you might have gotten all kinds of things from me telling you all this story. But I'm not going to drag my feet now, okay? It's Friday morning. I done had my coffee. I'm wide awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And guess what? I'm about to go to the American Airlines website and go ahead and book this ticket for $139 so we can get back from Vegas to Norfolk Friday afternoon. I would have liked to get back Friday morning. That way I could have actually went to the shop, you know, and took care of some business on Friday afternoon. But it's pretty much going to be you know, I could still get to the shop even if we get back at 3:30. I could still go to the shop and take care of some clients, you know, till about 7, 8 o'clock if need be, you know, but I probably won't. I'll probably just wait till Saturday. But you all, thank you all for watching this video. If you got something from this video, if you learned something, if you got an understanding of how I think about things and how I structure things, and you even seeing how I make mistakes. Okay, this is what my videos and my channel is all about. You know, raw, in real life. You know, just showing how I go about doing things. Okay, so if you got something from this video or you like the video, press the like button. If you have any questions or positive or constructive comments, you know, leave them down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would suggest subscribing to the channel. You know, it helps the channel to grow. And, you know, help my videos to get to the people who like this type of content. All right, you all. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Be blessed and be a blessing.